Hello everyone, this is Ashi from Crafting with Ashi and welcome to this video. Thank you for joining me today. I have this fun fold card to share with you today, and it's this little diamond stepper. Isn't it cute? You can see here, and you've got the lovely plane here, and I was thinking of the red arrows when I made this plane. I know it doesn't look like red arrows, but it was just what I was thinking of at the time. And I love all this combination of red, grey and blue. So let me show you how I made this fun card. So let's set this one out of harm's way somewhere. Just there will do. Now let's start by making a little plane, and then we can let it dry. So I'm going to bring in my silicone mat. It's got a bit of glue on it, and if it dries, you can just, as you can see here, you just rub it off. Really useful. Now the dies I used are the Adventurous Sky dies, and I used this for the fuselage. So this bit I cut out of red, and then I cut out the frame here out of grey, and then I used this little piece here for my propellers. Okay, so let me show you those bits here now, as you can see, and we're just going to stick one to the other, and I'm just going to use some you can see my bits of die cutting still attached. I'm just going to use a little bit of wet glue for this. I think it really is, you really need wet glue for something like this. And I'm just going to try and put as little as possible on. You really don't want a lot. You don't want glue all the way up to the top of your image. You just want it at the bottom. You can see here I'm really not putting that much on. You can always add more on later if you feel you need. And then this lines up really easily. I use my wheels to get myself my placement in, and then just line this up just like that. And you can see why you don't need a lot of glue, because not a lot of it's going to stick to the what's its name, the fuselage. Now I'm just looking for my tweezers. Here they are, but I think this time it's going to help me a bit, hopefully. And I'm just going to put a dot of glue in the very center here of my propellers. I'm going to line this up as best I can here, and then I want two. You could just have one, it's up to you. I liked two, but I know a lot of people would just use one, but you know, I like to be different. I want it to be there too, as if it's going, as if you can see it going really round, and that's what I've got. So I'm going to set that aside to dry in a second, but first I want to find my clear Wink of Stella, which is here, and just give it a shake up. And I just want to add some shine to all the grey bits, and this just makes it look a little bit more metallic, gives it a little bit more shine. You could use some gold foil, silver foil sheet rather, to cut this out, and that would look fabulous as well. So I'm just going around here, just adding just want to cover everywhere where there's grey, including the wheels. Why not? We can have shiny wheels. And then if you can't see it on camera, in real life you can. When you hold it up to the light, it all sparkles, which is just amazing. I put a bit too much there, but it doesn't matter. It'll just sparkle a bit more. I'm just going to transfer it. Waste not, want not. Okay, so I'm going to leave that there. And I keep thinking my Wink of Soda is going to run out, but I've had it for so long, but it still keeps going. So it's not, you can maybe see some of the shine there. I'm going to set that aside over there to dry. Try and keep it out of harm's way. And then I am going to work on the rest of our card. So I'm going to bring in my trimmer to do some scoring. And I have here all my bits already cut out. So this is half a sheet of A4. It's cut on the short edge at 10.5 centimeters. And we're going to do some scoring now. So I'm going to bring out the arm of my trimmer, and we're going to be scoring here on the long edge here. So we're going to score first at 3 centimeters. So line it up to 3. And remember, your scoring blade is your light grey blade. So we score at 3 centimeters, and then I've scored again at 6, and then at 10, and then at 14, and at 22. Now I should say all the measurements and the supply list will be on the blog post, and you can find the link to that in the description box below, along with all my social media links. So don't worry about trying to write all that down now. So that's our scoring done. So now we want to do some folding. So we're going to fold our first one in like a mountain, and then a valley, and then a mountain, and then I'm trying to find the next one, and there we go. So you see, if you look at that, you have your mountain, your mountain, and your mountain. Your mountain, valley, mountain, valley, mountain. Okay, and that's how it's going to look. And when it's folded up, it should be even smaller. And this will fit in a normal envelope, a normal C6 envelope. So give me a good burnish. So time to stick down some pattern paper. So the pattern paper is from the same suite. I think it's called, what's it called, Take to the Sky. And I'm not going to give you all the measurements now. As I said, they will all be on the blog post on my website. And we're just going to stick these down. Okay, oops. Okay, I'm just going to stick that down there. And then the next size up, I'm going to just stick here. I'm not putting pattern paper on the bits that can't be seen. Red is really pretty anyway, so you can see there. And the next one will be here. And just make sure you put your clouds, if you're using this paper, in the right direction. You don't want upside down clouds. Though you will see later on I do have some wonky clouds. It really isn't the end of the world, because clouds are any old shape, any old way. They don't keep to any rules. Okay, so there we have our backgrounds. Now to make our diamonds, which are basically just squares turned point to point, I have here more of this paper, and I'm going to put this on the two larger squares, like that, and another one like that. Okay, and these squares do measure 7.5 centimetre square, 6.5 centimetre square, and 5.5 centimetre square. Okay, so the last one to do is going to be our sentiment. Now we want to make sure this is in the right direction, so it's going to be point to point. That's how it's going to look. It's going to look like that. So that's how we're going to stamp our sentiment. And I'm just going to bring in my stamp set, and it's called Adventurous Sky. And we're going to just do a little bit of stamping, get out my simple chamois, and I'm going to start off with my centre piece that says Happy Birthday. And as I said, you just want to keep it almost point to point. So I'm using my grid paper to try and keep it as lined up as possible, as you can see. Okay, and we're just going to go down, hope for the best. Yeah, that'll do. Happy birthday. So clean that off, and then we're going to move on to our next sentiment, which is flying by to say hi. And there we go, lovely. And the last sentiment will be to my friend. So you can see every time I'm trying to use my grid paper to try and get things as lined up as possible. Won't always work, but it's enough. Okay, so let's put this away. Close this up as well, and this is great, it just cleans underneath the tap. I'm just going to move it all out of harm's way. I almost stuck my fingers in the ink pad or anything else, so that's why I always say to close up as you go along. And now we're going to stick this down. So just going to put this like that. Okay, so now we're ready to start to assemble our card. So I'm going to start with my biggest piece here, and this is going to go point to point. So I'm going to put glue just on the lower half of my square or my diamond, just like that. And then you can go as high or as low as you want. I'm going to go like that. And once you've got the first one in, you can use that then to get everything else lined up in the same way. So same thing, just going to have glue on the bottom half, and I'm just going to try and line this up as much as possible so my points are sort of in a row like that. And then the last one is going to be here, and again you just want glue on the very bottom here, not a lot. And again I'm just going to line it up with the base of the paper and line this up point to point, pointy pointy pointy. And there you can see we've got our stepper card. Okay, so let's bring in our what's your name, our plate, and I had it on the second one here, so I'm going to put it again roughly in the same place. So I'm just going to put glue in the center of my fuselage, and that's what's going to use to hold everything together. So I'm going to put it around there. Get rid of that, and we're done. And you can see here it will stand up like that, and then it folds flat just like that. You can see the same thing here. So there are our two cards. I hope you liked them. If you did, I'd be so grateful if you could give it a thumbs up so YouTube know. And please don't forget to subscribe to future videos. If you want more information about the project, as I said, it's all on the blog post on my websites. So do check that out. And thank you again for watching. And until next time, enjoy being creative. Bye bye.